I'm going to share with you the 6 things that men over the age of 60 should never do before bedtime if they want to avoid having an enlarged prostate. This is very important information because the truth is that most men over the age of 60 have some degree of prostatitis, which can cause a lot of discomfort, pain, urinary problems, and even other health issues. So today I will share with you the 6 things that you need to avoid at night in order to reduce your risk of getting an enlarged prostate. Also, towards the end of this video, I'll share with you my one recommendation for men over 62: shrink the prostate back down to its normal size and to improve all the symptoms related to prostatitis. And that recommendation has nothing to do with medications or surgeries, so stay tuned till the end of this video for more information. The first thing that you must avoid doing after the age of 60 is eating carbohydrates, especially simple carbohydrates like bread, pasta, rice, cereal, crackers, muffins, sodas, juice, sweetened beverages, etc. Why? Because since we stop being physically active around our late 50s and early 60s, our bodies start gaining weight, and the place where we gain weight first is in the midsection of our body. So men over 60 tend to have a big belly area because of the fat that they have stored there. The problem is that this fat produces a hormone called estrogen. Estrogen is the main female hormone, and it is very powerful. The problem is that when men have high amounts of estrogen in their bloodstream, their prostates tend to grow bigger and bigger. In fact, this is the reason why women tend to have bigger prostates than men. So in order to keep your prostate healthy, avoid gaining weight, eat less carbs, and watch your carbs intake. Number 2. Another thing that you should avoid doing at nighttime after the age of 60 is drinking alcohol. Just like carbs, alcohol is also a cause of weight gain. So if you drink alcohol every day, especially at night before going to bed, you are likely to have a bigger belly, which then will produce more estrogen and enlarge your prostate. Also, alcohol irritates your bladder, so you will be more likely to wake up at night to urinate. Not only that, but alcohol is a diuretic, which means that you will lose fluids and become dehydrated. So instead of sleeping well, you will be up all night long, either urinating or thirsty. So avoid alcohol after the age of 60. If you really want to keep your prostate healthy, no. 3. Thing that you should avoid doing at night after the age of 60 is eating large meals. Large meals make us feel bloated and uncomfortable. They force our digestive system to work harder, which produces more gas and stomach acid. In fact, many men over 60 suffer from a condition called GERD, which is an irritation of the esophagus due to stomach acid. This condition makes it hard to swallow food and even more difficult to fall asleep at night. The best thing to do is to avoid eating big meals at night and instead opt for smaller portions of food during the day. Number 4. Another thing that you should avoid doing at night after the age of 60 is ignoring the signals from your body. So often men over 60 try to ignore the pain, discomfort, the bloating, the tiredness, the fatigue, or even urinary symptoms that their body is telling them. For example, if you really have to go to the bathroom but you ignore it and try to hold it, the urine will start irritating your bladder and prostate, which will make them enlarge. In fact, the bladder is a muscle, and if you try to hold the urine, you are actually training your bladder to keep expanding and becoming bigger, which will create more urinary issues. So always listen to your body's signals. Do not try to ignore them because that will only make things worse. Number 5. Another thing that you should never do after the age of 60 is use sleeping pills. Sleeping pills are dangerous. They come with side effects, and they have a high potential for abuse and addiction. The problem with sleeping pills is that they reduce the amount of REM sleep that we get. REM sleep is the deepest part of our sleep cycle, and it is essential for our brain and nervous system to rest and recover. When we take sleeping pills, we miss out on this deep restorative sleep, which makes us feel tired and weak the next day. The worst part about sleeping pills is that they negatively affect our endocrine system, which controls all the hormones in our body. Our pituitary gland, which is located at the base of our brain, will stop producing essential hormones like growth hormone, testosterone, thyroid-stimulating hormone, adrenochore, a kicker-tickatrick hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, prolactin, and anti-pituitary. When any of these hormones become out of balance, our prostates will begin to grow, so never use sleeping pills if you want to keep your prostate healthy. Instead, try improving your sleep habits by establishing a regular sleep schedule. Exercising regularly, and eating a healthy diet. Number 6. Another thing that you should never do after the age of 60 is take anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, aspirin, or naproxen. The problem with these drugs is that they have been associated with an increased risk of heart attacks, bleeding in the stomach, kidney failure, and even an increased risk of cancer. It is true that these drugs can help reduce pain and inflammation in the body. However, they also destroy our gut lining and kill beneficial bacteria, which will result in nutrient deficiencies and a leaky gut syndrome. A leaky gut happens when our intestines become damaged and start leaking toxins into our bloodstream, which will trigger allergies, autoimmune diseases, and prostatitis. This is why people over 60 who take anti-inflammatories on a regular basis have a higher risk of suffering from an enlarged prostate, hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, and diarrhea. Taking anti-inflammatories also weakens our immune system, which makes us more vulnerable to infections and diseases. Avoid taking these drugs, especially after the age of 60, and instead, try using natural pain relievers like turmeric, ginger, celery seeds, bromelain, or even chia seeds. All of these natural remedies can help reduce pain and inflammation in the body without causing damage to your digestive system or increasing your risk of developing an enlarged prostate. If you are suffering from an enlarged prostate or prostatitis, there is nothing more important than fixing your diet and making sure that you eat foods that shrink the prostate back down to its normal size. And the best food for shrinking the prostate is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest sources of zinc. And zinc is the king mineral for prostate health. In fact, a deficiency in zinc will cause the prostate to enlarge. Consuming zinc-rich foods will help reduce prostate swelling and improve urinary symptoms. Studies show that 93% of men with prostatitis were deficient in zinc, while only 7% had normal levels. Also, studies show that consuming 100 milligrams of zinc daily can significantly improve urinary symptoms and prostate enlargement. To get enough zinc in your diet, make sure to consume 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds on a daily basis. You can eat them raw or roasted. Now, if you want to accelerate your recovery and you want to eliminate prostatitis completely, I strongly recommend that you check this video out next. Put it up right here. And remember, regardless of your situation, always keep moving forward. I will see you in the next video.